You know, it takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. And I'm definitely a big man. I mean, that much is pretty obvious. But I may have pegged the Draconis wrong all these years. I mean, they're kind of a go-to hate this guy faction because they're so stern. They're so, obsessed with their Bushido Onaburo. Uh, they hate mercenaries, so obviously, not a good fit for a game where you play predominantly as mercenaries. But the stuff they're handing us on this contract, especially after our last one, man, they've been treating me good. It's Thursday, December 17th, 3029. Yesterday was the birthday of X Company. I started this campaign on December 16th, and we have now just passed our first year as a full company. And the Draconis and the Lyrans got together to give us a birthday present. We have a unique, pretty rare, not often generated contract mission today, a chase. A chase operates under some interesting conditions. The victory conditions are that you must prevent at least 50% of the enemy from reaching the north edge. That means the mission only actually ends once all of the enemies reach the north edge and then finish things off. So anything that you catch before the last guy to escape is yours. And boy, did they send a lot. Apparently, the Lyrans have been taking a bad pounding on this mission. Although we haven't been terribly active, especially compared to our previous one, we've only had, six six things that we've had to do in, well, about a month and a half. So that's roughly one a week. I mean, it hasn't been exactly one a week, but roughly like that. Now they are already trying to regroup and recoup their forces so that they can put them together for a better offensive. And unfortunately for them, the Draconis provided us intel to put us right at the head of their column. Central Lance. Captain Kobe, Li Guang, some of my Barati Ruma, some of my most accurate, best shot pilots, along with a couple uh, standard 4 or 5s, and also someone who really desperately needs to put some more shots on target so that we can get her trained up, uh, are standing between uh, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 vehicles, 4 light mechs, and freedom. And in addition, the enemy's going to send more. They're sending a relief force of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more vehicles to try to free them, to help these guys get to the edge. These guys will be operating under bot conditions, which require them to withdraw to the north. That means each turn they're going to do their damnedest to get as far north as they can. They'll take shots where they have them, but otherwise they are mostly just focused on escape. And that's probably going to cause them to mostly jostle with their own accuracy. Their reinforcements aren't under the same conditions. They're mostly just there to help these guys get through, hit us kind of in the back, and give us some trouble. We start in the center of things, I believe. Let's see here. No, players start south. We actually start right on top of the retreating enemies, and then we get to chase them down. It's a good time to be alive. We have to knock out 50% of these enemies. So of the 20 vehicles and 4 mechs, we have to knock out 12 of these to be victors. But the match doesn't end until the last one of these guys. Oh, there's an urban mech hidden in there. Huh. And a dervish. Okay, so no, sorry. Missed 2 mechs, a light and a medium. So we've got 6 mechs, 18 vehicles. All of the vehicles are pretty light ones. We've got the scimitars that we've seen before. Maxim we've seen before. These are actually kind of medium-sized heavy hover tanks, but they're hover tanks, not too difficult to knock out. We do not have any Saladins, which is thankful. And otherwise, the troops that the enemy are bringing are just not terribly scary. I mean, this guy is going to put a lot of shots on us, but he's in a Scorpion Light. It's not going to hurt that hard. There's a lot of salvage potential here, and we've already salvaged a pretty tasty amount off of this mission. I'm looking forward to what this one can do for us. Now, that said, this is the one mission that we have this week, and we do have everyone deployed out. Firebrand Lance, let's talk about them a little bit. Got shook up just a little bit. Same crew, Happy, Dizzy, Twinkletoes, and Bo. Bo is now in that new Crusader that we managed to pop the leg off of and then get that leg refitted back on. The Crusader fit he's in isn't my favorite, but it's one that I can modify a bit in the future. In fact, I've got a sort of custom one that I want to do the next time that we have access to some better repair facilities. But they are out, and so is Big Sky, and so is Avenger, and all of these people can reinforce us potentially. And if we get some extra reinforcements, they may or may not contribute much, if I'm being honest. The big problem is, of course, that they would start at the south and reinforce after like 6 turns. So might not do much. Avenger definitely could. So looking at this, let's start with how many extra people we can put on this map. So first off, I should go ahead and technically roll for my infantry, whether they generated the ability to skip this mission. I'm not going to, but let's see whether they could have. No, one short. That's fine. We didn't really want to skip this mission anyway. Second off, let's see if we can't get Firebrand, my other fight lance, into this. They need to roll a 6. No. Alright, let's see whether we can get Big Sky, my scout, to get in. They would need a 5 or more. Yes! Big Sky's coming to this fight. And lastly, let's see if Avenger can get on point. 5 or more. Yes! Oh my god, they're gift wrapped. Alright, so first off, Big Sky coming to this fight. Avenger coming to this fight. Just have to make sure that Avenger is loaded out with all their right bombs. We got 12 on the Chippewa. We've got 12 on the Hellcat. Since this is a kind of big one, and the enemy's not going to be taking as many shots, normally I don't load the Chippewa down as much because I want to keep it maneuverable, but let's see here. Do we have enough to equip that? Yes, we do. We have at least 30 left. We're going to bring the extra bombs. They might be necessary. You can carry a number of bombs on your pylons equal to your tonnage divided by 5. So Chippewa can carry 18, Hellcat can carry 12. It'd be pretty simple math. And there are multiple different types of bombs, but I think I've described that before. Cluster bombs I just really like for dealing damage spread out over an area, because it means even if they don't hit, they're still doing some splash damage. It's a good policy. Okay, so what else do I need to prep? I've got everyone coming in. Everything's here. The last decision to make is how to use Captain Kobe's big rerolls. We've got a coastal fight. River huge. That river could work with us or just pretty much not bother us much. There are a fair number of enemy hover tanks that might be able to get over the river regardless where we wouldn't, but everything else shouldn't be too bad. The one thing I'm considering, so daylight is excellent for taking clear shots, but if I actually rolled for a darker night, it would significantly impair the enemy's ability to run. After all, one of the downsides of having like pitch black or moonless night is that it significantly impedes your movement ability. We can get around that to some degree by moving recklessly. We've got a number of good pilots in Central Lance. Captain Kobe and Sergeant Li Suang Guang uh, at a 3 and a 4, and Barati Ruma at a 4 are quite capable of making some moves that would be able that would allow them to run flat out even during dark night, whereas the enemy wouldn't. I mean, they've got some normal piloting, but they don't have anything excellent enough to really do that reliably. It would mess with our shooting significantly, but we also have plenty of accurate people, although that means that Private Pia Croce would pretty much never land a shot. Sorry, Dagger, but that's just kind of how it is. Between the work that Kobe and that Bullseye and Pugs should be able to do, along with what Barati Ruma, what Genie should be able to do, I think that that'll make up for our accuracy issues if we could try to, you know, reposition, juke out, and generally force the enemy to make this escape attempt at night. I'm gonna go for it. Dusk Dawn? No, I want darker. Pitch black. That's what I want. Alright, let's see if this works. Taking a bit of a risk on this one. It might not pan out, this whole pitch black thing. Could cause us more trouble than it's worth, but I feel pretty confident that doing this to help slow the enemy way the hell down is going to be better than what we can get off of the accuracy bonus that we'll have off of a clear day. After all, we kind of already trump them in accuracy, and they're going to be messing with themselves by moving flat out anyway. So, here we go, here we go. We've got nearly all of X Company on display, just not Firebrand. Unfortunate not to have them come along, but, you can't always get everything. Let's see. Now, after we get all of the enemies down, I don't think that there's anything that we haven't seen before. The most of the mechs in the enemy's retinue are deploy before round one. Oh, right. On an escape, the enemy comes in, in bits and pieces. They're going to have units that are going to come in and feed right into our. Oh, right. But that's also true on our end. Only the fastest of our pursuit stuff will catch up. Okay, I think that the dark black was an excellent idea now because that's going to allow us to actually catch up better. Yeah, I kind of forgot how the rules for this one work specifically, but some of these elements are essentially arriving on the board based on their speed. We're actually going to have, funnily enough, a couple turns where nothing will be on the board, and so we'll just kind of, parse through those. But most of our forces are going to be arriving around turn 6, 7, 8, and most of their stuff going to be showing up around, looks like 4 or 6, some stuff coming in on 8. Their reinforcements are actually going to show up before all of their evacuating forces. One thing to edit real quick. I want them to deploy at altitude 6 because I want them to start high enough that no enemy can really touch them. And then after they've dropped their payload, I'll make the decision whether it's necessary for them to drop lower to start engaging with weapons. All right, this is going to be fun. Let's get down there. This initial deployment phase, I don't think is going to matter. I don't think anything's deploying on turn 1. Ooh. Okay, this is gonna kind of work against me, kind of work for me. There's gonna be some, just looking at this, Lyran's turn to deploy. Well, maybe it kind of fast forwarded. I forget how exactly they do this, but so working with us, working against us, we've got. Okay, so they did have one J. Edgar that sped up things. Chippewa shouldn't be on point yet, should it? Okay. Yep, they've got their units coming in bits and pieces. Hang on, could you stop doing stuff long enough for me to appraise the map? All right, fine, fine. Just keep pinging at me. Ooh. I might have been a bit confused. I thought a lot of those guys were supposed to come in on later rounds. That's what it said, didn't it? Hmm. Well, I'm not gonna kvetch yet. We'll make sure. After all, the blackness might be working for me because around 6 I'm definitely supposed to come in. Okay, yeah, this still isn't too bad. So now we finally have a moment to calm down. Criminy. So the pitch black is definitely working for us. The furthest this J. Edgar light hover tank was able to get was this far out. Normally, that thing has got a bunch of speed. It pretty much would have already been gone. This river line is going to be both a problem and a boon for us. The problem is predominantly that we don't have a lot of jump jetting in Central. We have more coming in with Firebrand, but the enemy hover tanks can get across this just fine, whereas all of our stuff is going to be significantly slowed by having to deal with this water line. However, all of the enemy's ground forces, their pack rats, their locusts, any of their mechs, any of their vedettes, is going to have some trouble crossing this. Although I guess no, their locusts will because they don't have jump jets. This wasp kind of fucked up and he sort of submerged himself, and that means his jump jets aren't going to work, and he might just kind of be fucking stuck. So anything that they have that doesn't have significant jump jetting, which is Urban Mech has it, but it moves slow anyway. The Wasp will have it. Commando doesn't have it. The Dervish doesn't have it. So most of their mechs are going to be stranded on this side. Most of their solid vehicles are going to be stranded on this side. So first thing that we have coming on is Isra Adam, Babe, in her Wolverine. She does have significant jump jetting, so mostly what I need her to do is get on point quickly for moving across the river and taking shots on target. So I'm going to plop her here with the expectation that she is going to uh, uh, make a hazardous move forward up into this tree line, and then jump jet over and start messing with the enemy. Who else do I deploy this turn? Anyone else? Yes. Ah, my bombers are already in motion. Bombers have kind of a narrow corridor to work with this time. They do have some ideal targets already, but interesting point is that I don't necessarily know if I've got any excellent bombing targets just yet. I may have to take a couple of just sort of lighter bombing runs, fly off the map, and then come back around for better ones as this map goes on. Oh man, there's so much terrain for them to get across. For right now, it looks like one of my ideal bombing lanes is going to be this one. So I'll start more or less here and see if I can't get a good bomb run off of that. Maybe drop a couple bombs, maybe sink a couple of these hover tanks. Beast Hung Huang. What a name. What a name. The enemy dervish is on the field, so I should probably dedicate someone who reinforces to taking that guy down. So who do I have? Pia Croce in her Wolverine? Pia, I don't know. Pia's going to have a significant problem in that she's just not really. She's not accurate. She's not a good pilot, so we can't really rely on her to do a lot of work in regards to not getting shots on target. That said, one, two, three, four, five. We can still rely on her jump jets to keep her moving pretty quick. One, two, three, four, five. So if we put her in this position, one, two, three, four, no, put this position, we can essentially jump jet her to sort of get her on top of the enemy vehicles as much as possible, and then maybe she can take some shots that'll be acceptable. So I'm also going to assign her to my sort of quick reaction force. Yeah, I talked about Central not having a lot of jump jetting, but that's wrong. We've got 3 Wolverines on that team. Between Babe, Dagger, and Twitch, we actually have some significant catch up. Surprised that I forgot that. Yeah, so here's Twitch. Twitch, not as good of a pilot as Babe, so I might rely on jump jetting for him initially as well. One, two, three, four. Well, that wouldn't work. Uh, one, two, three, four, five. I can kind of put him in the same lane that we're going down with Babe. Just jump jetting along. Honestly, might just jump jet all of these guys turn after turn until we get across and can actually start uh, zooming up on the enemy vehicles. Just why make piloting checks I don't have to, you know? Their commando started himself submerged. That's an interesting choice. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take lots of jump jetting. We're going to have to kind of turn to avoid taking bad shots on our rear, even though we are in pitch black and that's going to mess with shooting significantly. The dervishes and the other tanks are going to be able to take pretty clear pegs at us all around. So we'll sort of want to err on the side of please don't shoot me in the bum. This locust can see me, but his and he's got pretty good accuracy, but he's mostly blocked by this line of sight, so I'm not too worried about him. Well, he did move. Forgot about that. But that's a model of dervish that does have jump jets. So catching that guy is going to be kind of an issue. That said, let's see here. So we're at the height that I want to be. We know where one of these enemies are. That Maxim is in a perfect position. And this guy has not moved yet. Unfortunately, this bombing run may just not be the best because too many enemies get to move after me. I could maybe accelerate and... Nah, I can't move far enough. So if I just accelerate, and take this straight line, at the very least I'm bombing somebody, and a couple others might end up in my bombing range at the same time. We'll see how that pans out. Whoa, lots of movement. Pack rat. So one thing I need to be careful about. Okay, these guys made themselves a tempting bombing target. One thing I do have to be kind of careful about is danger close. We do have some guys that we do have some people that are going to be mixed in with these uh, enemy forces, so have to make sure that I don't bomb myself. But this little bombing line here, probably bomb, 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 looks pretty good to me. Let's keep jumping. And let's keep jumping. That said, we could also, instead of jumping, have Mike work on just kind of approaching up behind this dervish and putting some initial hits on him. Do I want Mike to be taking kicks? Not really. But I also don't want him to get himself left behind in this big chase. Let's... Alright. Mike, you're going to be kind of my rear guard in this chase. I want you to move up on the enemy dervish and see what shots you can take. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Pitch black is a +4. Just a pain in the ass. And as long as we are taking jump jet moves, we aren't really going to be able to hit shit. The things that we're most likely to hit is stuff that we've pretty much caught anyway. So mostly the shots that I'm going to take are going to be based on the mostly the shots I'm going to take are going to be based on what could possibly hit, which there's a limited number of those in this current round of fire. Like, none of these are going to hit. I could make a slight twist like this and dump a lot on this pack rat. And you know what? As long as I'm putting shots on target, I might as well. So let's go ahead and dump medium laser. Oh, sorry. Give me damage high to low. The standard issue, medium, medium, SRM6, why not? On top of this pack rat and see if that yields any fruit. Over here, we had a nice little bombing run. We're targeting for bombs. And dropping 2 bombs and targeting for bombs. And dropping 2 bombs. That's 4 out of the 12 that we're carrying on the Hellcat. And that should be a good start to things. I wonder if the pitch blackness affects bombing runs too. I don't know. Let's find out. Dagger is just going to have difficulty getting shots on target anywhere. It's an unfortunate truth. She's just not that crack a shot. We can take a single 12, or I think, give me high to low, or damage high to low, please. We could take a flurry of 12s. And honestly, a flurry of 12s. Okay, so can't hit this guy. Did this Pegasus? No. So both the hover tanks here move too far. We can take a couple of shots on this Wasp and at least start softening him up. Let's go for that. I'm going to be using my expendables, my SRM6s on and so forth on some not great shots, but may as well take them, you know. We've got them. Some of them might land. So, Mike, you've wow, okay. Attacker ran, target jump, pitch black, That guy moved a bunch in light woods. Yeah, I underestimated how much penalty this guy would layer onto himself. So no, we can't actually take any shots against him. We can take a large laser against this locust. It's at least something, you know. Zap. Okay. Our Wolverine misses all its shots. Not unlikely. Locust misses all of his shots. Not unlikely. Dervish misses all of its shots. Not unlikely. Here we go. So yes, the knight does also fuck with our altitude bombs. The good news is that even when a bomb scatters, especially since I've got a cluster bomb, it can still land in a good position. So it still landed in a place to chip some off of that Maxim heavy hover transport. Still hit that Condor. Second bomb, strip some more off the Maxim, strip some more off the Condor. Uh, this bomb looks like it scattered to somewhere that it didn't do any damage. This bomb scattered to somewhere. Aha! Immobilized a scimitar. Alright. That's scimitar with no number on it. So, excellent work. The shrapnel from that bomb embedded a small piece of tree into the scimitar hover tank, and it is disabled. So that's the first enemy down out of like, geez, 12 that we need to take down in order to be a victory. Medium laser, SRM2, miss, 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 miss. So all the actual shots that we took, miss. This is going to be pretty common, but it's going to only be common as long as we are currently making our shots real bad because we're sort of trying to catch up to the enemy. What would your kick look like? 11? No thanks. It's just not worth it. So, heat's pretty balanced, except for the enemies, but what more is the enemy bringing on and what more are we bringing on this turn? We've already got our Hung Huang is actually a skilled tactician. He's already giving us some bonuses in positioning. And we will be seeing Captain Kobe on here, so he's going to give us even more of a bonus. Alright, Sergeant Ueda, you have one of my fast-moving laser boat heavy mechs. You do not have jump jets, so you are going to need to make a river crossing at some point in order to keep up the attack. But for right now, I kind of want you focusing on cleaning up stuff that is going to be kind of abandoned over on this side. So to that end, I'm going to put you kind of front and center over here and hope, well, let's actually, you've got good piloting. Put you front and center over here and allow you to do some reckless piloting so that you could get right up on top of people and start wailing away with your lasers. Likewise, Trebuchet with Luke Kelly is in a similar position. He's got some long range to him, so he might be able to help strike at the enemies over here regardless. Corporal Katie Tripp, she also has a jump jetless mech, but is a pretty good pilot. Let's see here. You're an okay pilot. She's an okay pilot and has lots of speed. So I might be able to make a river crossing with her. It just wouldn't be a terribly fun one. Let's set her up to conduct that river crossing and then make some decisions about whether we actually need to do it. Although on the other hand, who am I going to deploy? Well, I know what's going to deploy over here. That's a pretty easy one. We've got some vedettes that are popping behind us. My Shadowhawk with small has some jump jets, so we can actually position her in position to do a little bit of jump jetting in order to keep up, but really she's going to be part of this cleanup crew. I'm just going to kind of focus them all over here. These vedettes have sort of stranded themselves. They can't make this, they can't get down here. Their treads just can't go up and down that many elevation levels, so they're kind of stranded. This guy can get away. This commando, I think, is kind of fugged. I don't think he can move. Um, this VDET can get away, but I'll be putting some blockers on him in a moment. So we'll focus on getting these guys and then kind of sweeping around to clean up these mechs. Ah, my Chippewa. Alright, so I am from the future. I've seen where all of the enemies are going to move. Where are they going to cluster up? They're going to cluster up around here. Or around here. I think I'm going to start over here and either be able to get a straight vector or a turned vector onto an enemy. We won't be able to move very fast to start off with. You'll notice that because I overloaded her with bombs, her safe thrust is just 1. So we can't catch up to anything that's going to end up too far away, but we should be able to get bombs on target of anything that sort of loiters around here. In fact, maybe the safest would be to just start with knowing that we bomb that. Nah, we'll start over here. In fact, actually, starting here, because I'm pretty sure this VDET at least is going to be a good bombing target. Not sure if I'll take that because you can only bomb in a straight line and I don't want to bomb every hex down here. But if I get absolutely nothing else, at least I know I've got a VDET I can pick on, you know? So reinforcements are coming down. That scimitar was immobilized. We are still dedicating Dagger to sort of jumping as far forward as she can each turn to catch up with the enemies. Yeah, that Wasp is going to be a problem because it does have significant jump jets, more than I have, and unfortunately it's jump jetting away from what it's jump jetting away from is one of my few pilots that are just really not good shots, so I'm not going to be able to do an awful lot to knock him down. The best option I'll probably have is sort of bombing him. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to do some fancy flying in order to get a straight arc on him. Now, he's the only Wasp the enemy had, I believe. So, yeah, and this Dervish is semi-sorta in the same boat, but I might definitely go and bomb the hell out of him, just to make sure. Anyway, for right now, my Ostsal, I can dedicate him to moving recklessly. Ueda is a great pilot, so I can count on him to do things like get behind this locust and really just start wrecking his day. Need 5s. You can do that, right? What if we just make sure our chances are a little better by only making the one, yeah, don't run, just walk. Walk normally. Easy peasy, piece of cake. What's my next bombing target? My next bombing target is actually kind of the Wasp, which means that I sort of need to make a gradual little turn around. Okay, in order to turn around, I'm actually going to have to, like, right, I need to accelerate. Is there enough room on this map? Yes. Okay, so I can get a turnaround by going like this. What is this? J. Edgar Light have on it? Flamer? A medium laser and 2 flamers. It actually does not have the range to do much, to be able to hit my Hellcat if I decide to do a weapon strafing run on him. Now my weapon strafing run ain't likely to hit, but it would save my bombs for a better target. So if I accelerate, turn here, then set up to be sort of scooting along the edge of the map. Oh, sorry, what I'd have to do is go down, no, accelerate, go down, lowering me to altitude 5 so that I could actually take shots on him, and then maneuver around here so that on my next turn I can do a big swing around and come on that wasp. That's probably going to be my best option. And save my bombs for when I can get better shots. So zoom. So first scimitar abandoned. Mike, your job is to keep up with the jumping force so that we can keep trying to chase down these vehicles. Let's see. Trebuchet, what can you get your LRM-15s on, just with a little bit of movement? Okay, remember those haven't actually moved yet. Right now, you've got this VDET dead to rights. And in fact, there's some other VDETs that may not be able to get very far away from, say, your lasers. So actually, let's just back you up one, and that will allow you to either hit these VDETs with your medium lasers or this VDET with your LRMs. Let's see. As for my Hermes, you can move 2 squares moving flat out, even in the darkness. So I can kind of rely on you to be able to get over here even without having to do any potentially dangerous maneuvers. I'm just going to kind of slap you down, and then we're going to add you to picking on this locust. Jump jet force continues. Can I get further than that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I totally can. I can jump here and then turn around and sort of meet that dervish face to face. Shadowhawk. Okay, so those things turned around to pretty much face my trebuchet. Shadowhawk has my PPCs. If I just kind of climb this hill, she's not going to be able to see anything, unfortunately, because of that tree line. I didn't take this hill into account. She can sort of clamber over here, and that will let her get that eye full of that locust. I could also just jump jet her into a position so that she could provide better support on a following turn. But I think actually for right now, this move is going to be fine. My Chippewa. So, who presented what target to me? Well, these guys make for a pretty tempting bombing target. And that'll even put me on a trajectory so that on a future turn I can get a bombing run potentially on that wasp. So, what we'll do is accelerate my 1, fly forward a bit, and take the bombing run here. We'll start here, 1, 2. Maybe even go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to sort of hedge my bets. Maybe 5. I'll decide at the time. Point is, that looks like a pretty good bombing run to me. It's going to catch a fair number of their vehicles. Cutting it close, dude. Stop cutting it so damn close. You got lots of room in that 2d12 to maneuver. Just, you don't have to show off so damn much. Alright, so Pia, you just aren't going to have any shots. Let's be honest with ourselves. You actually might have a shot here, come to look at it. Yeah, you do. Go ahead and take some shots into the butt of, let's say that, let's see, the Pegasus or the Maxim? Let's do it into the Maxim. Take some zaps. They're not going to hit, but, you know, may as well take them. Ostsal, you I can rely on for, I mean, look at this. Pitch black and still rolling nines. Do damage high to low. Looking to you to take out this locust. So start putting some shots on that target. Don't bother with overheating yourself over much. We're going to have to rely on your large lasers a lot this time. Over here, that's actually pretty accurate. I guess it's because he's moving so slow. Damage high to low. You can slap a pair of PPCs on that bad boy. Let's do that. Zap, zap. Over here, I don't think we're likely to see any shots worth taking. Unless I super twist and take a backwards shot on this locust. And in fact, I can do that. So let's do that. Zap, zap, foosh. Trebuchet over here. Options between a 9 on this vidette over here, where I'd be getting side shots, or a brace of 9s to the front of these vedettes. The vedettes are right here are a clear and present danger to my trebuchet, because they will be getting some actually poor accuracy shots because I'm in their danger close range. So we're just going to lay into vedette number 1 here and start putting some holes into his hull. Over here, the Hermes is going to have some not great shots on this locust, but hey, they can contribute. Alternatively, a meh shot on this pack rat. I think that shot's just like, it's 16 versus 8. It's twice as likely to hit. And if it hits this pack rat on its side arc, it's possible that you'll finalize it. So take that shot instead. Over here, yeah, no way in heck. But you can twist a little bit and put some shots on this Maxim that are slightly more likely to hit. Zap, zap, foosh. That Dervish is just going to make himself a problem. Over here, we had this Locust pretty well in our sights, which, you know, in pitch black means 10s, but I'll take it. 10s and 11s. Chippewa. Chippewa had a bombing run of over here. I don't think the scatter can scatter 3, so that's pretty much what I'm looking to avoid. I think it can scatter 2 hexes, but I don't think it can scatter 3 hexes. So if we target this hex for a bomb, is it even worthwhile to target that hex for a bomb? Not really. Instead, we target this hex for 2 bombs, this hex for 2 bombs, and that should probably be pretty safe. So we fire 2 bombs, and we fire 2 bombs. That's 4 bombs out of the, like, 18 that we were carrying, so we're still pretty laden with bombs. How do we do? Maxim rolls at my Hermes, misses. Packrat fires at my Osal, misses. Vedette fires, misses. My Wolverine fires, misses. Ostsal, zapping that locust, hit on its right leg and into internal structure. Hit on the left leg into internal structure. Any more leg shots and this thing's going down. There's no weapon in the game that won't do enough damage. Well, there is. An LRM possibly could. Because you could get like a 1 cluster. But uh, Hellcat misses its first PPC. Second PPC does hit. -1 move to this J. Edgar Light, which is just going to give him even more problems in this. Uh, Hunter Light Support Tank has an LRM-20 on it. That's a bigger gun than I thought. I need to figure out where that Hunter Light Support Tank is and focus it down ASAP. I don't like LRM-20s. They're scary. Wolverine misses. Trebuchet misses. We're going to see a lot of misses. We did pick for this fight to happen at night. The enemy does get a hit on my Hermes. Just a little bit of damage on the right leg. Enemy Locust does hit it with a total of 3 SRMs onto my Wolverine. Vedette manages to hit my Trebuchet even at danger close. But, with just the machine gun though. Don't worry about that too much. Our Wolverine misses. Vedette misses. Excellent work. She's got that PPC dialed in. She actually manages to hit the left leg that we finalized earlier, left leg that we softened off earlier, knocks it off, pops off the left torso as well, which blows off the left arm. That mech is down, and it's going to be that mech is down, and it's going to be abandoned. It's missing a leg. It's missing an arm. It can't get back up. Excellent work. Excellent work. Gonna mark down that you are responsible for Locust LCT-1S. Excellent work, Small. Bombing Run. Bombing Run manages to bomb a Pegasus. So, let's see here. Immobilizing it and sending it into the water. Most of these bombs are scattering, but they're scattering right into places that I want them to go because apparently they scattered right on top of the enemy. Excellent scatter work. Stripping some more armor off of the rest of these guys. We actually have one of the harasser has an exposed turret and an exposed right side, so any more damage on him is going to take him out. Locust falls over and is going to be abandoned next turn. Excellent work there. Excellent work there, Small. I could declare some attacks on these vedettes, and that's not even a bad one, even with the pitch black. I'll take it. Over here, can't get any punches. I am not taking that. That's just asking for trouble. Over here, I bet this is going to be a punch. Yeah, punches have no consequence to failing them, so may as well take them. Okay. That dervish fucked up. He fucked up hard because he made for a kick that the Lyrans once again show off how incompetent they are at realizing their own inability to pilot mechs. He fudged up a kick, is not a great pilot, so threw his mech over on its side. Now it can't keep jump jetting away. At the very least, next turn it's going to have to stand up, and I'm blocking its movement. It's stuck in place. If I can keep chasing it down, I can start kicking him to death. So, excellent work on not getting kicked. Who is that? Babe? I think that's Babe out there tanking for me again. And also, having the movement on this vedette by partially tracking it is just going to make it really easy to finish up. So good work everyone. We've got some more people who are going to be coming onto the map this turn. We are definitely starting to see this bonus to our tactics rise us higher and higher. And I think maybe not this turn, but I know that we're definitely getting some of our heavy stuff on, and so are the enemy. So, because the enemy is deploying their heavy stuff here, I need to deploy my heavy stuff here. Genie in the Tallman is going to do some excellent work in zapping all of these tanks to pieces for me. I feel pretty confident about this fact. So I'm going to dedicate her to zapping vedettes. Ah, this is where that hunter is. Okay, I should totally dedicate whoever comes up next that has jump jets. I'm dedicating them to taking this son of a bitch out. Warhammer does not have jump jets. Warhammer does have very long range weapons, so I can sort of dedicate Lieutenant Allen to helping out with trying to neutralize some of these tanks over here. In fact, may as well put her sort of front and center to that endeavor. Ah, Li Guang is in a similar position. Maybe instead of putting someone directly over here, I can just plop Li Suang here, park for for this turn, and zap this hunter into submission, and then keep following up. On the other hand, her talents are going to be mostly put towards, even in the darkness, she's going to be super damn accurate. So pushing her forward as much as possible to get shots on this cluster over here sounds like a good idea to me. That said, there's a lot more vehicles over here than I originally anticipated, so might not be a terrible idea to also dedicate some more shots over here. Well, we have one more person who's going to be coming up soon who's going to help us with that significantly, so not overly worried about that just yet. Bet you're all glad that I really stifled those bings, huh? Goodness gracious. Okay, who am I moving? Oh, okay. This scorpion can move, and will probably move like this. Honestly, if I take this move, I'll be able to put my foot through these guys. But if I don't move, I'll be able to put my foot through these guys and also have even more accurate shots. I don't really see any reason to move. All the enemies I want to shoot are kind of right here. This is a pretty good position for me. I think I'm going to stay still. Makes me a target for the enemy, but the darkness is what I'm counting on to help with that. Oh, Mike, if only you were a little faster. You could. The Wolverines are hard to pilot. I don't want to pressure him into trying to make a turn, fucking up, falling over, and then maybe falling over into the briny deep. That sounds like a bad day to me. We'll just accept the fact that he's a little too slow to really get anywhere. Why can't he move to that? Oh, because it's like 3 extra and he's only got up to 8. Right, right, right. I could jump jet him, but I think that his accuracy is worth more. In fact, if he doesn't move it, nah, we'll keep moving him up just a little bit, get some good shots on target. This locust is done. Whether he knows it or not, he's done for right now. So we do have another locust over here, but he seems to have realized that he's fugged. He can't move anywhere else to keep getting north. I could push up hard with my Ostsal in order to try to get some shots over here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Once again, give me some reckless movement. But I'm only going to be walking recklessly, because anything more is just kind of asking for trouble. over here, we're finally in a position where we have caught up with some of the enemy tanks, and so we can start walking on them. And that's just what Dagger's going to do. She's going to go face down this Condor heavy hover tank. What is this thing packing? Just to double check. A bunch of LRM-5s, a bunch of machine guns, an SRM-2, and an SRM-6. Nothing terribly scary. I bet she can go face that down. So go ahead and just move up on this guy. You probably won't be making any kicks, but let's see here. Can I back up into this square? Yes, I can. I'll be right on top of these guys. They won't be able to shoot at my butt, and I'll still have plenty of targets, and I can step on them. That's a pretty ideal situation for me. I'm going to have to see if I can do some fancy maneuvering with. Now, we dropped down a hex because of our attack run. So we'll need to go up to get back up to 5 altitude. What's our safe? 4? So we can go up, accelerate, accelerate, go up, and see if we can get a decent turn off of that. So instead of turning every 8 when we're at acceleration 2, we are turning every 12. I could turn early here. Nah, because of... Well, let me try it. Let me try it one more time. Go up. No, sorry. Accelerate, accelerate, go up. Go forward 12. Turn. Early turn. Can you make another early turn? You could. But it looks like that might be messing with you a bit. Right, right. The early turn requires even more thrust. So let's instead just go up, or rather, accelerate, go up, and we'll take a more leisurely, brisk flying pace. And on the next turn, we should be able to get something akin to a vector on that wasp. Maybe. Hermes, want you to keep kind of chugging up. Full steam ahead. You are going to be sitting still because you are blocking this dervish and you are going to lay the hell into him. My Warhammer, packing dual PPCs, can do some work for me. This commando's eventually digging himself out of the hole he got himself into. Let's see here. Right now, you've got excellent shots on that pack rat. By moving forward a bit, you have moderate shots on nearly everything else. You are pretty much just going to be moving slowly forward and taking the best shot that I can generate you each turn. That said, if I moved you kind of in here, you wouldn't be able to make it, so yes. Slowly forward, taking best shots we can. Shunk. You, I can play a little more fast and loose with. You are also an excellent pilot, so I can go reckless with you. Go reckless with you and push up hard. Don't you have... Is it just 4 or 5 on that thing? It's just 4. Just 4. Push up hard with you. In fact, probably want to kind of err on the side of getting that turn in so that you can move like this. That'll give you some good shots on that vedette at the very least. And you can potentially take some other great shots over here because you are a great shot. So, yep. Guys, come on. Alright, she's wearing her seatbelt and doesn't take damage, but she does fall over, embarrassing everybody here. So, I was just bragging on you. Get your mech back up. Alright, you at least stood up correctly, but that means that you're sort of stuck in position. Unfortunately, she got her mech foot stuck in a gopher hole and just sort of embarrassed everybody here. Alright, let's... Unfortunately, all of these guys are kind of danger close on me. I'm going to have trouble getting good shots on them. Now might be the time to start jump jetting so that I can contribute her more to the effort over here. It's going to mess with her shots, but it means that she'll be able to get some better shots on targets over here. So, or in fact, kind of over here. So yeah, we'll jump like this. Chippewa. Accelerating 1. How much further did you need to move? Oh, perfection. Now, options. I could just bomb the ever-loving piss out of this wasp. I could also do a strafing run on it, as I don't think it has anything long enough to be able to peck at me. The bombs are really designed for clusters of targets, not a single dude. How much acceleration is it to go down? None, of course. So if we accelerate and go down, we hover over here, we get a straight shot on that wasp, and we can just kind of lay into him with all of your weapons. Then immediately start going for a turnaround. Let's see here, on a future turn, 1, 2, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's unfortunately going to put us in a position where we'll pretty much have to fly off. Either that or turn, keep going forward and then turn like this. But in order to get that strafing run on an element that's kind of getting away, I think that that's acceptable. Not to mention, I might be able to get a strafing run on this J. Edgar. So we're going to drop down into altitude 5, where we can actually start laying some shots on this guy. Zap some shots downrange on him, and then zoom away. Seriously, you're going to have to do better. It's just kind of embarrassing. Alright, Thunderbolt has her choice of victims. So who to target? The heaviest thing here is that Prowler. All of the rest of these guys are pretty light. So that probably should be where I start. Just framing like a madman into him. 1, 2, I didn't move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So generate 24 off of just firing all of my damn medium lasers. That, I think, is the way to go. Oh my god. Zapmas came early. Over here, Mike, you are helping out with actually laying some shots on this dervish that are likely to hit. Zap, zap, foosh. Should I bother with going into heat debt with you? Gonna mess with movement, but all of your movement is pretty much jump jet based right now. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're going to lay as many shots on this target as we can get right now and hope for some lucky hits. Speaking of lucky hits, we actually do have a good angle on that dervish. with my with 0. Well, let's take that shot also. This is the turn of fuck that dervish as hard as we can, so that we can put him down. He's going to be one of the most difficult things to actually knock out, and his jump jet 5 means that he can move about as fast as any of our elements can except for the planes. Wolverine over here. Dagger, your job is to take zaps at whatever seems like the tastiest target, and actually, this condor flew into your short range and is already injured. So you might be, and in fact, if I remember correctly, this is the one with the missing turret. You might be able to get a kill off of this. Go for the kill. Go for the kill, Dagger. See if you can't actually, get some. In fact, just like last time, since mostly what we're looking for is weight of fire to tell true, we're going to go into. Actually, no, she's already got some heat debt from having jump jetted a bunch, so no. We're just going to go into the standard razzle dazzle. Wonder why that became the standard term for me. SRM6s, or LRM15s, not a lot of potential there. We could shoot that Scorpion in the butt, or we can shoot this Vedette that we already softened up a little bit. Think we'll keep focusing on the Vedette, lay some fire downrange on them, and just keep that up each turn. Hellcat has no targets. It's unfortunately going on a wide arc. The Hermes could target this pack rat. It's something. Don't, turn your nose up at it. Over here, yes, we've got some good shots on this dervish. The only penalty is the pitch black. So just, let's see here. You're at 2. That'll put you at 10, 13, 16, 20. You can soak for it. That'll put you at just 6 over. Yeah. Heat dump away. Try to take that sucker, or at least put an injury on that sucker that'll make it more difficult for him to get away. Over here, we can target this pack rat for demi-accurate. We can also put shots that are okayly accurate on top of that dervish. And since this is the turn of fuck that dervish, alternatively, we could take some shots that could actually help catch some stuff that's getting away. But no, this is the turn of fuck that dervish. Zap, zap. Incoming fire. Oh, what's that? This is the turn of fuck that dervish? Absolutely. Man, if only hadn't fogged up so much, they would have an even better shot. But that shot's not awful. It's a 35% chance to hit. You could instead find, no, screw this guy. Zaps down range. Make me proud. Shadowhawk over here has a pick of some targets. Can't contribute to the dervish crushing. Could take a zap on this pack rat. I mean, it's better than nothing. I guess. Chippewa went down in order to be able to get some zaps on this wasp. This wasp is going to make it difficult, but we can take a shitload of shots at him to try to zap him. I guess I should have bombed him after all. But if any one of these shots land, it's going to ruin his day. So, 16, 24, could take 3 large lasers. Or, we can't take the aft small lasers. Could dive bomb on him. LRM-15s would not ruin his day as much. Yeah, let's take 2 large lasers, 2 medium lasers, and let's say this SRM-6. Not likely to hit much, but what zaps we can put on him. On the other hand, alternatively, those just aren't likely to hit. I know lined up for a strafing run on him, but the shots just aren't that likely to hit. Compared to what we can do is, now that's not likely to hit either, but the scatter is still likely to land somewhere that gives him a problem. So let's just do fire one bomb on this side of him, fire two bombs right on top of him, because I'm pretty sure no matter where those scatter, they're likely to land a place that they'll scatter damage on him. And then target one bomb on this side of them. And just roll the dice on them scattering correctly to put some more damage on this guy. So how do we do? People are lighting up my Hermes and actually landing shots on it. I may have to duck the Hermes back into cover. It is the lightest armored mech that I have, and it's starting to show it. That pack rat savages it. The commando takes some shots that hurt on it. That commando is already making himself a nuisance. I need to not ignore him. Scorpion misses, Locusts miss, Maxim actually hits my Wolverine, but she can take it and more. Um, Vidette misses, Scorpion misses. Who's the next guy that actually gets a hit? Ah, here we go. All right. So did we actually destroy it? Doesn't look like it. So that Prowler that I was wanting to take out early, we took out early. We actually managed to have the Genie and the Tallman take out the Prowler. That's one more dude down. My Wolverine manages to, one of my Wolverines, I don't know which one this is unfortunately, manages to get a zap on the Dervish. Ostsal manages to zap into the rear armor of that Dervish and destroys his back armor. No critical hit effect, and then zaps him in the leg. Good work. 0. Scorpion misses. My Dervish fires again, and we managed to get one more shot on that Wolverine. Oh wait, no, this is the Dervish firing at my Wolverine. It manages to hit me in the leg. Well, up yours, buddy. My Wolverine misses all the shots. This is Dagger, and she missed all her shots. Sad, sad. Trebuchet manages to land one of its shots on that Vidette and causes it a little more movement problem, so it's going to have an even harder time getting away. I think this is either Babe or Twitch, but whoever it is manages to land a bracket of shots. Its right leg is exposed, which means that maybe some kicking will help put it in the ground. Sadly, my PPCs all miss. Yeah, not great there. Um, I guess they can scatter enough to miss, because they did. So we only landed one of those cluster bombs right on target, but we did some damage to the terrain. Take that, terrain. I mean, it's got a weak right torso. There's that at least. This guy, continuing to get razzle-dazzled on all sides, falls over. So now he's on his side next to one of my pilots, which I am definitely going to follow up on. Now, this Prowler's immobilized. I don't have to do anything extra for him, but can I kick this Scorpion? You bet your bottom. So I am going to kick this Scorpion. Over here, we could try, but I'm sorry, Pia, you're just not very good a pilot. I don't trust you not to fall over. I need you standing, because if you fall over, you might not get back up. You're just not that great a pilot. I'm sorry. Over here, we can take another kick on this Scorpion. You are that good of pilot, so we'll go ahead. And over here, we can take a kick on this prone guy. Definitely going for that. So how do we do? Excellent work. Okay, so Thunderbolt also Genie also grants another wish and immobilizes that scorpion by stepping on its engine. That's scorpion number 3. There's a lot of scorpions on this field. We are not dodging them. And Bo, is that who's in this dervish? Or in this Wolverine? No, this is Babe. Babe is kicking this dervish and manages to crunch right on the exposed leg that I want. Now that guy is just about to be out a leg. Excellent work. Excellent work. And now we've got even more people showing up on the field. Our tactics roll increases regularly as more and more of our guys land on the field. Who do we have now? Captain Kobe is in the fray. Captain Kobe, I want to dedicate to taking on all of these vehicles, and pretty much he's going to be my big cleanup crew for this end of the board, because that stalker is not going to have an easy time getting across that ford, and just does not have a lot of hitting power when it comes to long range. He's got 2 large lasers, but that's about it. We gave him a version that stripped out LRMs. So I'm going to want him here so that he can pick on this urban mech immediately and then take any additional shots that he wants at these vedettes. The Lyrans are also deploying some more stuff, looks like. The dervish stands up again, but that just means that he's going to be in for more kickmas. Okay, my Hermes has been taking some bad damage. Now, not awful damage, but still damage that I can't ignore. I may risk things to go reckless and move a bit so that people have harder shots. If I go reckless and sort of dive for this cover, that might have worked. Right, I wouldn't be able to move out of this pack rat. And dive for this cover, that might make me significantly difficult to hit, but I don't really want to run. That's still not a great idea. So if we instead go reckless and then just kind of scoot, on the other hand, so if we go reckless and scoot like so, that moves us 4 squares. That's going to be a penalty to shoot me. It's pitch black, penalty to shoot me. Then again, if I flub this roll, well, if I flub this roll, I end up here. So, yeah, we're not skidding on anything. We're trying to see if we stick our foot in a gopher hole. I'm going to risk it. Okay, didn't stick your foot in a gopher hole. Good work. My Ostsol. Who do I want the Ostsol to target? I want the Ostsol to target this dervish more than anything else, pretty much. So you are also going to be moving recklessly in order to get a bead on that sucker. Excellent work. Over here, both of these guys are immobilized. They're not a problem. Is that anything I have to worry about? It might be. Okay. Since this one's going to take a while, I might have to break this up into several recordings because I can only put together things of yeah, and we're already over an hour. But this is going to be a long one. We've got a lot of enemies to neutralize and a lot of maneuvering to take them out without putting too much risk on ourselves. It's going to be long and tedious, but the payoff is going to be excellent. So I will see you guys in a little bit.